When you're at home, what do you see? What do you smell? What do you hear? And what do you feel? And how do these things affect your sense of well-being? Sensory aspects of the built environment, or all parts of a space that are human-made or curated to respond to human needs, desires, or purposes and are experienced as sensory input, make a big impact on our well-being and affect how we feel about our space. Some current approaches to design make efforts to address sensory aspects of the built environment. Universal design aims to make the built environment as accessible as possible for the widest range of people possible. For example, sound might be used to accompany visual cues in order to accommodate different sensory conditions at the same time. Trauma-informed design is an approach based on trauma-informed care principles that aims to create environments which support individuals' well-being. Trauma-informed design principles include reducing or removing known adverse stimuli and engaging the individual actively in a dynamic, multi-sensory environment. This approach also highlights elements of choice and control over the built environment, for example, dimmers on lights. Built environments that address the effects of sensory input can increase accessibility, improve the mental and physical health outcomes of occupants, and promote feelings of well-being. In a supportive housing context, taking into account residents' sensory experience could be key to promoting well-being, especially for older adults who are more likely to experience neurocognitive and sensory changes that require special consideration. In this vein, the concept of aging in the right place, or AIRP, acknowledges the unique circumstances under which older adults experience supportive housing and aims to support them to age optimally while recognizing the impact of a person's environment on healthy aging. Using this framework, the AIRP project aims to understand the characteristics of promising supportive housing practices for older adults and identify shelter and housing options that support older adults to age in the right place. As part of the AIRP project, an environmental audit and photo voice interviews were conducted across 3 different supportive housing practices in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. 25 older adults, aged 55 plus, participated in the photo voice interviews, talking about their experiences within supportive housing and taking pictures of their environment that related to their idea of aging in the right place. Through thematically analyzing participants' interviews, common threads related to sensory aspects of the built environment emerged. Residents highlighted the importance of aesthetics, identifying how visual aspects of the environment can create feelings of comfort, pride, and place identity, provide sensory stimulation, and impress upon them a feeling of being cared for. Effort put into the appearance of the environment was experienced by residents as someone caring enough about them to provide them with a beautiful space beyond the bare necessities, and resulted in some residents putting extra care into the environment in turn. Supporting their efforts to contribute to their home, residents conveyed feelings of agency and ownership related to their ability to make decisions about the built environment and have access to sensory choice, like playing music or decorating their room in the way they wanted to. The experiences of residents reflect findings within trauma-informed design, wherein opportunities for control over the built environment serve to promote empowerment and build self-esteem. On the other hand, experiences of disability and/or neurocognitive or sensory changes with age were frequent among residents, and many found themselves facing barriers that affected their access to sensory choice or stimulation. The environmental audit also highlighted safety concerns, one of which being a lack of contrast between the grip strips on stairs and the stairs themselves, which could be dangerous in emergency situations. Beyond barriers, residents highlighted adverse sensory experiences that affected their ability to age in the right place. At one shelter, the noises from the nearby busy street were often loud and disruptive, while at another, the environmental audit revealed that a designated smoking room, although good in theory, was rendered somewhat inadequate due to improper ventilation that allowed the fumes to permeate the entire floor and the floors nearby. Despite identifying adverse sensory experiences, many residents also highlighted the ways in which sensory elements of the built environment positively contributed to their mental health and well-being. Participants described how the sensory landscape holds the power to improve well-being through evoking positive emotions, such as hope, joy, and calm, by encouraging engagement, and by creating feelings of belonging and being at home, even in temporary housing situations. So, sensory aspects of the environment are important, yet they're under-researched. We didn't even set out to learn about sensory aspects of the environment specifically. They emerged in the data and we took notice. Even with the lack of explicit focus on sensory experience, our findings reflect principles and calls to action outlined by universal and trauma-informed design to consider sensory accessibility and provide sensory choice and control within the built environment. While sensory aspects of the built environment should be considered as a means of promoting the well-being, safety, and agency of shelter residents, further investigation into the sensory landscape of supportive housing is crucial in order to create housing that is responsive to the needs of residents to age in the right place. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and if you want to find out more about the Aging in the Right Place Research Partnership, please visit our website at sfu.ca/AIRP.